Dmitry Timofeyevich Yazov, or the last Marshal of USSR, was born in the village of Yazovo, Omsk province, in 1924. He lived in a family of peasants with 3 other children. His dad died when Yazov was 9 years old. When the Great Patriotic War began, he voluntarily joined the Red Army, not even having time to finish the 10th grade, lying about his age. Dmitry was enrolled in the Red Banner Infantry School and graduated from it in June 1942. From August 1942, he fought on the Volkhonov and Leningrad fronts as a commander of a rifle platoon. He participated in the battles of the Siege of Leningrad, in the offensive operations of Soviet troops in the Baltic states, in the blockade of Courland Pocket. In 1944, he joined the KPSU. He was wounded twice in a battle. After the first wound in the leg, he returned to the service 2 months later. The second wound in the head and face was received during the breakthrough of the Siege of Leningrad in 1943. After his recovery, he was appointed commander of a platoon of frontline courses. For his exploits during the Great Patriotic War, in 1945 he was awarded the Order of the Red Star. Immediately after the victory, he was sent to the training courses for infantry officers of the Red Army, from which he graduated in 1946 and was appointed commander of a rifle company. In 1979 to 1980, Yazov was commander of the Central Group of Forces in Czechoslovakia. During the Kuban missile crisis, the 400th Yazov Motorized Rifle Regiment was secretly deployed to Cuba and was there from September 1962 to October 1963, in combat readiness to repel the invasion of the US troops on the island. He was commanding the Far Eastern Military District in the northern summer of 1986, when, according to Time magazine, he made a favorable impression on General Secretary Mikhail Gorbachev, which led to later promotions. As Minister of Defense of the USSR, in accordance with the Geneva Agreements on the political settlement of the situation around the DRA, concluded in April 1988, he carried out the withdrawal of a limited contingent of Soviet troops from Afghanistan. From June 1987 to July 1990, Yazov was a candidate member of the Politburo. During the August coup of 1991, Yazov was a member of the State Emergency Committee, from which he was removed by Gorbachev. During the Yeltsin period, Yazov was prosecuted and acquitted in 1994. On December 19, 1991, he was found guilty in absentia of involvement in the events in Vilnius in January 1991, where Yazov tried to carry out a coup in Lithuania to preserve the Lithuanian SR. Yazov spent 18 months in Matrosskaya Tishina, or Sailor's Silence in English. Matrosskaya Tishina is a prison located in Moscow. This was Yazov's personal hell. Only a video appeal to the president with an apology saved him, but Yazov himself denied this action. Since July 1998, he has held the positions of Chief Military Advisor to the General Directorate of International Military Cooperation Ministry of Defense, Russia, and the Chief Advisor Consultant to the head of the Military Academy General Staff. Dmitry promoted patriotism among young people, was fond of history, wrote poetry. He had 3 marriages and 7 children. Unfortunately, some of them died in horrible accidents. For services, Yazov was awarded with many medals. Among them was the highest awards, both of the USSR and Russia, a monument in Omsk and an apartment in the very center of Moscow. Dmitry Timofeyevich Yazov died on the morning of February 25, 2020, at the age of 95, after a serious and long illness. The last Marshal of the Soviet Union was buried at the Federal War Memorial Cemetery, where only people who had particularly important services to the country were buried. For the first time, Dmitry Yazov appears as the de facto ruler of Omsk, ruling a DRA ruler and founder, Dmitry Karbyshev. Actually, the story of Karbyshev will be more interesting than that of Yazov. Karbyshev fought in the First World War, the Russian-Japanese War, the Second World War, and died in a concentration camp. However, in TNO, Karbyshev is still alive, but near death. Returning from the war in the destroyed Russia, Dmitry Karbashev creates a Black League in Omsk. The Black League is an organization of Russian ultranationalists who set themselves the goal of making the Great Trial. What is the Great Trial? The Great Trial is Russian revenge to Germany for the destruction of the motherland. That is, sooner or later, Omsk will arrange a thermonuclear war in the event of the unification of Russia. Karbashev lost his grip on the Black League officers at the start of the game, and it's simply beginning to die before his eyes. Realizing that he is not able to influence the Black League in any way, Karbashev commits suicide by going to the extreme cold in the forest at night. His comrade, Dmitry Yazov, a more fanatical member of the Black League, begins to rule. Dmitry Yazov shows great respect for Karbashev and even builds a monument in his honor. However, Yazov immediately meets with what Karbashev could not fight: corrupt members of the Black League who want to bite each other's throats. Yazov has a special mechanic to fight for the survival of the Black League. You just need to press 2 decisions in time, and if not, Yazov will die, and you will lose the focus tree, so you will have to load. If you manage to maintain your power, then Yazov will begin his expansion. He will crush all the warlords except the 3 aviators, who will join him peacefully. You see, Yazov may seem like a villain to you, but you can't say that for sure. After defeating the warlords, he offers the officers an amnesty, and sends a proposal to the 3 aviators to unite only because he admires them, because the aviators defended motherland day by day. Also, Yazov says that democracy will return to Russia, but only after the Great Trial. But Yazov is also not a good ruler for the people. The Black League has 14-hour day shifts, a huge wealth tax, and stability is always low. After the unification of Western Siberia, the name of the country changes to West Siberian Provisional Authority, and another power-holding minigame will begin. This time, the troops of Pavel Batov will try to destroy your country, if only you do not strengthen yourself. Pavel Batov, by the way, tries to prevent only Yazov. In the case of the unification of Western Siberia by other warlords, he does absolutely nothing. If you don't stop Batov, Yazov will also die, but now your country will also fall apart. After merging with Central Russia, your name changes to Russian National Reclamation Government. Yazov could not unify peacefully with the other warlords, but Yazov can also offer an amnesty if the Central Russia was unified by VRRF. If Central Russia was unified by Samara or the Aryan Brotherhood, Yazov would order them to be shot. There will be no mini-game for the struggle for power this time, but the developers have provided a small surprise for Yazov, namely a special branch of Focus Tree for the development of nuclear weapons, because the Great Trial. But Yazov is not a fool, so he builds a bunch of bunkers and underground factories all over Russia, so that after wiping out the Germans from history, Russia can come to life again. By the way, there is a myth that says that Yazov has a portrait from the 70s, which appears with a 5% chance. But this is a lie. In the game files, where the event is registered, in which Yazov allegedly changes the portrait, there is no text or scripts. So what do you think? Will Yazov destroy the whole world? Will he be able to arrange a great trial? Or will Yazov be stopped by the next rebels? Personally, I know only one thing. Dusk approaches New Order.